Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Love's Teaching Will Travel. We are down to our second to last episode of the season, and I have something really good in store for you today. Our overall topic is going to be looking at teaching abroad with a family. So, thinking about some of the advice and insights that I've gotten from educators who have done it, who have gone abroad, who have taught, I've gotten some feedback that really gives me insight into whether it's good for families, whether it's good for single moms or single dads to go abroad and teach. And I just wanted to share this information with you to just help those who are interested in taking the leap and taking the move to decide whether or not they want to bring family with them. So, some of the things that you want to think about is navigating international schools, looking at certain communities. Where would be the right place for you if you are looking to go abroad with your family? So, I'm going to start by looking at things to consider, including salary. Now, money is very, very important here. You have to think about, is the location affordable? Will relocation be funded? Are there going to be any single parents that are going to be, there as well? Will I feel alone, right? Will I feel that I'm not a part of this community because I'm a single parent? So there's some things to think about. And I think it's important to look at the countries that have a really good salary for educators to help you kind of decide what would work best for you and your family as a whole. Now, countries in Asia and the Middle East have the highest salary when I look at some of the numbers that I've run. And so, if those are the countries that appeal to you, whether it's salary wise or their education system, that's something for you to go down the road of and just kind of take some notes, do some research, and see if these places would be what works best for you salary wise and what would work best for your family as a whole. Now, thinking about salary isn't the only thing that can help to appeal to you when it comes to teaching abroad and bringing your family along. It's important to look at visas as well. And I think when it comes to visas, you want to know what you're doing is going, it's the legal route, especially when it comes to making visa runs, like those who are going solo. There are people who would like go to countries like Spain, and maybe they'll go to a country like Malta or a country outside of the Schengen zone and then come back in, and they do little visa runs in order to stay in the country. Is this something that you want to do with dependents, right? If you're traveling with young children, if you're going with young children, is this something that you want to take a risk doing? So for me personally, I know it's not a route I'd want to go down. So it's something that you want to consider. Are you willing to take those visa runs, or do you think it would be best for you and your family if you do things legally and you get all the documentation done, get everything signed, making sure that you have all your paperwork together so that you can apply for your visa application and make sure everyone's on it who's going to be going? There are some countries who will pay for you to relocate with family, so make sure that they're also going to be a part of the visa process and helping you with that as well, because they might be helping you get set up with your visa to come over as an employee, but are they going to help with the visa process for dependents if they're going to be funding them relocating as well? So that's something you want to look into and make sure that you have that documented so that when you go to immigration, you have all the things that you need to get things done correctly. Something else you want to consider when you are going with family has to be cultural adaptation. How will your child or children adapt to the language and the differences in cultural norms? It's not easy for everyone, right? I know children do adapt to things at times, but you don't know until you go. That's the first thing. The second thing is, will your children be comfortable leaving friends behind? Will they be comfortable starting a new school, right, with new peers? That's something that you want to consider because it's not always easy for them. And it's probably not going to be easy for you either, jumping into a new country, jumping into a new culture. So something that you want to consider is cultural adaptation. Next thing to look at, has to be considerations for single parents. Now, there are several women that I've been following on social media who have gone abroad and they've taken their children with them and they're single parents. And I think that is awesome. I think that's great. And it's good to have that representation out there so that people see that it's not just young women or young men who are, roaming around and traveling the world and teaching abroad. There are people that are coming with families, and it's not all the time, a two-parent household. Sometimes it could be a single parent that's coming, and you want to make sure if you are a single parent, right? First and foremost, this is possible for you. Second thing, it's important to make sure that you speak with an attorney, right? Make sure that you speak with an attorney and your partner, right? Or the other parent. You want to make sure that they've signed off on the child relocating with you. There are many, many times where people might say, well, I'm a single parent. I'm the one that's, paying the bills and doing everything for the child. But when it comes to relocation, you want to make sure that you have permission to take that child out of the country. Because if you don't, it could present some real serious legal ramifications going abroad with the child, and you haven't had the other parent sign off on documentation saying that it's okay for you to go. Now, I'm sure there are some legal loopholes here and there, or, if the parent isn't alive or what have you, I'm sure there are ways to work around certain things, but whatever it is that you are doing, you want to make sure that it is done legally, first and foremost, and you want to make sure that your child will not be at jeopardy, your job won't be at jeopardy, and you won't be at jeopardy by leaving the country as a single parent with that child and you don't have the proper paperwork with you. The last thing you want to do is get your visa approved and get your child's visa approved as a dependent, and then you're unable to go because the parent hasn't signed off, right? So you want to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to get these things done. I just want to say again, single parents, do not feel like this is not for you. This is for you. Teaching abroad is for you. You just want to make sure that you're crossing every T and dotting every I to make sure that when you do go, you and your child or your children have the most wonderful experience possible because you don't have to deal with any legalities pertaining to the child going. So that is where I am with that. The next thing I want to look at is medical care and insurance. I know. A lot of people don't like talking about these things, but just keep in mind, health issues happen no matter where you are. Health issues can happen in your home country, and health issues can happen abroad. You want to make sure that you are asking these questions before you go. Now, will health insurance be included in the contract? That's the first thing you need to find out, right? Will health insurance also be provided to your dependent? You don't want to go abroad and you don't have the proper things in place for your health insurance, because if something happens and you're unable to get proper medical care because of insurance, it could make it difficult for you financially, and then it might require you to come back home. So just make sure that you have things in order. You're asking the company or the program what their health insurance looks like, right? Are they covering it for you? Are they covering it for your dependents, so that it makes that process of going abroad a lot smoother? Now, healthcare varies from country to country, so do your homework, right? You want to make sure that medical, dental, and even reproductive care is looked into. So whatever country you go to, right, the quality of care might be either, going to say better or worse than the US, but the quality of care might be very different, right? And so you want to make sure wherever it is that you are going, that you look into their reproductive care, right? If you are taking birth control, are they going to be providing this? Depending on the type of healthcare services you need, you want to make sure that you're getting everything and it's being done correctly. All the services that you need, dental, vision, everything is included, so that you can move over there and teach abroad and be comfortable in what you're doing without having to worry about health insurance. Now, the next thing I want to jump into is education for everyone. Now, looking at the fact that you are going abroad and you are going to be teaching at a program, what does education look like for your children? Now, education looks different in every country, private, public, what have you. And so, what does their early childhood and childcare system look like? Now, is the international school funding this? Is the Do they have services for children in their own facility? So, if you're going to be teaching at a high school, do they have a childcare program nearby? If you're going to be teaching in elementary school, will your child be able to go to the same elementary school that you are teaching at? That's something that you want to consider and do your research to find out. Will the cost of school be subsidized? So there are, some international schools that do provide funding for young children, or they will waive tuition for older children. So let's say that you are teaching at a elementary school, they would cover the cost of your children who are going to the school, whether it's fully fund the cost of it or subsidize it. But make sure that you are looking into this before you take the leap to go, because if you are going to relocate with children and you are going to relocate with family, you just want to make sure that they are getting the best care, the best schooling possible, so that everyone has a routine set up, everyone has the things that they need. And if you decide that you do want to go abroad with your children, and perhaps you're going with a partner and you guys decide that you want to homeschool or world school, that's fine too. You just want to make sure that you create a plan and set up a plan that helps you to go forward so that your workday isn't interrupted as you're trying to teach the children that you have been brought over there to teach ultimately. Now, if you decide to get a higher degree, that's something you want to consider as well. Does the country offer tuition reimbursement? Do they pay for tuition for you if you decide to get perhaps a graduate degree or even go further, right? If you want to take art classes, are these things going to be funded? That's something that you also want to look into. Now, thinking about all these aspects that I've looked at, you want to make sure that you are doing your homework for every part of it, whether it's education, medical care, single parents, whether it is looking at cultural adaptations, visas, and even looking at other things to consider like salary. You want to make sure that you're looking into every aspect of this so that you are moving forward in your journey in the best way possible. It is not unusual for families to move abroad. This has been going on for a long, long time. This is nothing new. I think the thing that's new is that more and more people are being educated on this. More and more people are sharing their stories. And I believe the more that people share their stories, the more educated we all become. And this becomes something that is not taboo or a secret or something that's like hush hush and everybody's like, oh no, we're not talking about it. It becomes something that's no longer unusual when it comes to people going abroad to teach or people going abroad with their family. It becomes the norm. So I'm talking about it because I want to educate, inform, and inspire those of you who are interested in going. And I want those of you who have families to really look at it in a practical way. I want you to look at it as not just, hey, this is a dream. I want you to look at it as something that's practical and attainable, and something that if you plan correctly for it, you can actually make it happen, right? So doing your homework, making sure you're looking into all aspects of it, make sure you're looking into salary, your country scouting, you're going abroad with your family and checking these places out so that you know what's right for your family. That's the best place to start. Whether you're thinking about going in a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it might be, you want to make sure that you get started early so that you're having conversations with your family, you're having conversations with your children if you're a single parent, so that everyone is on board. I know there are a lot of parents that, if they have younger children, they're like, you know what, they're young, they don't know any better, we're just going to head out and go. But for those of you with older children, maybe they're upper L, maybe they're middle schoolers, maybe they're even high schoolers, it's important to have conversations with them so everyone's on board and everyone understands what's at stake by this relocation and by this wonderful opportunity that you could have as an educator to go teach abroad in another country. This isn't something that can't be done. It really can. And I want you to keep that in mind. This isn't a pipe dream. It's not something that only certain people get to do. It's something that you, as an educator, if you feel that you want to take the opportunity to teach abroad, teach in an international school, and take advantage of all the resources and support systems that they have available for you, like a great salary, like tuition reimbursement, like subsidized tuition for your children, like health insurance, like relocation services. I say look into it and jump in, do your research, and get it done. If you are curious about stories that I've gotten from other educators, head through other episodes. We have so many episodes in season 1 and season 2 where you hear the stories of educators who have gone abroad, who have taught, whether they've done TEFL work, teaching English as a foreign language, or they've taught in international schools. It's important to hear the stories of others because it inspires you and reminds you that you can do it too. You just need to take the steps, do your homework, and just get there and just do what you want to do in doing the job that you love, in doing the work that fulfills you. It's possible. I just want you to know it is possible. Now, if you are looking to reach out to me on social media, you can always connect with me on Instagram at always_travel_light. You can find me on YouTube at kjaroundtheworld. If you have any questions or comments or anything, just reach out to me. I am here. I've got newsletters on my blog, like things that can make you feel even more connected to me and the work that I do. So don't hesitate to drop by. Don't hesitate to connect. I'm here to give advice and support and just try to inspire and get everyone doing the things that feel right for them. And if you are the person that needs, some support and you have questions, I am here to answer them. Now, that is it for our episode today. Looking forward to our next episode, which will be our last for the season. I'm so excited that we've done such great work this season, and I'm really looking forward to season 3 next year. See you next time. Bye.